Hey!
We're having too much fun.
Yes,
Sorry.
a little pre-game, pre-show fun. Woo!
Hey, folks. Welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast live show Thursday night.
You are?
I'm Carlos,
I'm Rob.
I'm Wayne.
and we're a podcast about
How
we game. It's Thursday night. Audio's good, Wayne?
Yeah, audio. Yeah,
My
audio's working.
man. He's checking the audio.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I'm muting now.
Mute the audio.
Look what I added. I made it myself.
Live streaming?
Live streaming.
It's a little too big. Shrink it down a little bit.
I can't.
Oh. All right. So we'll just have to live with
Is
this
that
time.
too big?
I think so. It's a little
It's
big.
obnoxious.
Yeah,
Is it obnoxious?
especially if we're going to show something. But anyway, back
But
to
it's
the show.
the call-in show. It's not the
Call-in
same.
show.
Well,
Hey.
well, this is how we do. It's,
Yep.
I call it authentic.
Thursday night call-in show. Thanks for joining us. Just a quick recap if you haven't been with us before. Every Thursday night from 9 to 10-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a live call-in show here where we'll have the number up shortly here. Once Carlos gets this phone plugged in, we'll open the phone lines, and we're just here to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
You already have at least 10 missed call from Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, at least. So we'll riff about some things just to fill some time, but what we really want to do on this show is we want to talk to you about what you've been up to, what you've been playing, what conventions maybe you've been to in the last week or so. So we're going to do a little talking.
That's a lead-in.
Little talking about that tonight with the Dice Tower in our recent rear view mirror and coming up on the horizon. We've got some other conventions we're going to talk about. So really exciting time. We're happy to be back out in the public, seeing people, meeting people, having good times, and playing board games in person again. So lots of fun.
Hey, Rob, did you go to a convention this last week?
Let me think. Maybe I did. Yeah. So, yeah.
Ask me.
Did you go to a convention, Carlos?
Yeah, I did.
You did? All right.
Now ask
Did
Wayne.
Did Wayne go to a convention this last week?
No.
No. You were just setting that up. Rubbing that in.
yeah.
Yeah, Wayne didn't get to join us, but we had the Dice Tower convention over in Orlando, Dice Tower East. What was it, about 1,400 people is what they were advertising?
Tom said on his Q&A, I thought he said 1,600. They
1,600?
sold like 1,700 tickets and had like 100 people last show up. So 1,600.
It was good times. Good times.
Yeah.
It was different this year.
It looked like good time.
It was different. Yeah, it was a little different. Somewhere in between retreat and convention, Dice Tower, yeah.
The old school Dice Tower.
All right, we got a turn the volume up.
Turn the volume up.
I will do that.
Crank it up.
There we go.
Let's crank this up.
Yeah, all right. We'll watch Carlos play with screens here for just a minute. Oh, yeah. That's getting louder in my headset, so
Yeah.
seems like.
Okay, let's
Better?
try that.
Is that sounding any better? Hopefully we're coming in loud and clear for folks.
All right, we got a call coming in. Let's check it out. Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Into its son, Tampa.
Hello, Nandy.
That's Nandy.
Hey guys,
How are you?
all right.
Good. What's going on?
Nothing. I'm just been working on metal for Blood Bowl.
Oh, Blood Bowl. All right, Carlos, take over. I'll step out.
We're out.
Blood Bowl is a futuristic. Well, I'm sorry, a fantasy
There you go.
football game, but like real fantasy, like elves and dwarves fantasy.
Oh, real fantasy. That's
not
real
like
fantasy.
Rob's fantasy
Not like
football.
After
Not
dark.
like,
Football after dark.
All right, Nandy, is there anything you want to share with the folks at home about what you got going on with Blood Bowl?
I've been working on dwarf sets from 1989.
Wow, I was a whopping 9 years old at that time. Those models are almost my age.
Your career.
You haven't been working on them since
Right,
1989, no?
That could be it too.
Yeah.
Nandy's a slow painter.
So yeah, it's different painting metal, and then these are lead, not metal.
Are those the ones that you posted up recently that I saw the
Yeah.
pictures of?
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah, they're very nice. I love them to death, but they're very expensive. The team cost me on an average double what it costs.
If I'm right, in '89, the models were pewter and
Or
actually
lead.
contained
No, lead.
some lead.
Yeah, they did. They had lead in them still.
It's before the lead ban.
So how often have you been licking your fingers after working with your models?
All day, every day.
I like to lick my brushes afterwards to get the tip, and I have to remember not to do that. And it's a bad habit that I have.
Don't lick the
even when I get there, I would do that. So I'm gonna have to seal these really good to make them playable.
It's nice having the metal models over the plastic. I have the Grebo Norse team, and it's all metal.
I love metal, but I like plastic better because plastic does two things that metal can't do. It absorbs the primer, and it doesn't break your clippers.
Yeah, the metal will really damage your clippers.
By clippers,
That's why
like as you trim up the
Sprues, the metal.
You need to stop licking the lead models.
No,
too many lead models
by
over
clipping, you have to like taking off the sprues or like cleaning up the metal, the piece to make it smooth. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Is that what you're talking about? Okay,
You got to file it down and.
Okay, yeah. I've never painted. I know nothing of painting miniatures. It's like the one thing I've never done.
I'm painting almost all my life. But I just wanted to let everybody know that they see some weird dwarfs. That's what these are. These are 28. No, they're 28 regulars.
That would make them
They're not
25s,
heroic.
right? I would think those are 25 millimeter.
Yeah. 25.
Yeah, not even 28s, because GW went to this like oversizing of their models. If you put down their models, I'm talking, to the folks at home, like Rich Yassi, also known as Getty, commented here. Nandy, he says, I'm afraid to get into Blood Bowl because I know if I like it, I'll spend way too much time and money on it. Is that true, Nandy?
This team costs 6 times the average Blood Bowl team.
So there you go, Rich. Your answer's right there. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, but the plastic one's got to be a lot cheaper,
No,
right? You get newer figures.
Obviously, if you stick to the plastics, even if you stick to the third parties, you'll spend about $150.
But the problem is, and this is where it really happened here.
Yes, you want to do more teams and more teams.
That's what it is. Like it's like tattoos. There's like 30-some teams. Once you get one,
I have
you can't stop.
8 now.
I think I'm
Soon to be
over
9.
20. And it's
And
funny
I have
because
2
Nick Oben would make fun of me about it, but he's right about where I'm at now.
So you
I
can
have
just
2
rent out
dwarf
teams to
teams
people then.
and
Right?
2 halfling teams.
Actually, that is true.
It's a different sculpt.
Carlos can just host his own tournament. He just nobody bring anything. He's got it all here.
There you
Yeah,
go.
me too.
So there we go, Rich. We don't have to get into Blood Bowl. We can just use Carlos's team.
That's the idea. That's why I do it. All right, Andy, man, we thank you for the update and for bringing Blood Bowl back to the show. It's been a while since somebody brought up Blood Bowl. That's Rob.
I think I just saw someone from Armada post about a Blood Bowl tournament or something.
Thanks for calling, Eddie. Have a good night.
Good night, Andy.
Yep.
Phone line's back open.
Yeah, Wayne, quit licking those models. That lead's not good for you.
I actually probably still have a ton of figures because I never painted them, but we had a bunch of figures playing D&D as kids. Those little, the little ones.
Yeah.
I would love to try to get into painting, but how do you? Where's the first step? What do you buy? What paint?
All right, so if Carlos had to walk you through where to start painting, I would. It's expensive, but I would get you to either contrast paints or to not speed painter. It's Army Painter has a set now.
Yeah, like is there a set you can buy like where if you buy this set, it's got everything you need to do basic D&D miniature painting?
Well, the key to this one is it's a contrast paint in that you prime your models white, and then you literally mop on the color, and the coating or the combination of the recipe for whatever the paint is, it creates this pooling in the crevices, and then kind of a peeling away on the high tops, the high points. So then once it dries, you just mop on the blue, right, on like a shoulder pad, and on all the points of the shoulder pad, it'll be like a very light blue. But at the recesses and the corners of the shoulder pads, it'll be a dark blue. So you get almost like the effect of 3 colors of paint. A highlight, a base, and a wash.
Okay.
All with one mopping on there.
Got to break in with a couple of quick updates. So, Mitchell, we got a Mitchell sighting. Theater stuff tonight, folks. I think he's telling us he may not be able to call in tonight. That is so disappointing. But we'll make it through. We'll survive. But we're going to hit up Mitchell later, I think, for the a recording of the podcast after the show tonight. So hopefully get that theater stuff done, Mitchell. We'll see you then. And the other thing, just real quick here, I can't let this slip by. I accidentally clicked one of the side mouse buttons, and on the little side screen here that you folks can't see is Carlos's BGA. And you seriously are only in 2 games on Board Game Arena right now?
Here, hit the screen too there for the folks.
This is a little embarrassing. We're going to share this, yeah? This is a little disgusting.
2 games?
How many, Wayne? How many
I'm
are you
in
in?
41 right
He's in
now.
41 different games right now simultaneously, and Carlos is in 2.
I think you had like 9 or 10, right?
I'm 13 or 14.
13, there
so
you go.
yeah,
So you're in
there we
a
go.
few, yeah.
Got a call coming in. It's going to save him.
Carlos, you got to get some games going in, man.
Yeah, I know. It was a phone call. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
It's the self-proclaimed second phone caller. Of the night,
there it
Ron
is.
Fraser
Ron
in
Fraser.
Atlanta, Georgia.
You're holding up your end of the bargain. Where's that Mitchell guy?
I don't know where that Mitchell guy is.
Yeah. He's doing theater stuff. So clearly, if Mitchell's doing theater stuff, he didn't get to see our review of Mountain Goats, which he was so high on.
Yeah, we badmouth Mountain Goats just before the show tonight, Mitchell. So you can watch this later and hear about it. But
How's it going, Ron?
It's going great.
it was so good to see you. Finally get to play some games with you here this last weekend. But tell us all about it. What do you got going on?
Yeah, give us
What
your
I got
quick
going
recap
on?
of Dice Tower East. Give us your quick recap. You got 7 minutes of the show.
I played a bunch of games, including a bunch of new to me games, and I have to say that I did not play a single bad game, and I find that to be very pleasantly surprising. Because there's certainly opportunity for it.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of opportunity.
But I wanted to talk about my 3 that really stand out to me.
Hit it.
So two of them I've talked about before, but the third one might come as a surprise. So the first one, I'll just get out of the way, Marvel Dice Throne.
Yeah.
I like the Marvel theme. I actually like Yahtzee. And so a game with a Yahtzee mechanic appeals to me. I love King of Tokyo and whatnot. I like rolling the dice. I do like when there's dice mitigation mechanics, and there certainly is plenty of that in Marvel Dice Throne. I've never played the regular Dice Throne, by the way, but just having the spread of powers, the base spread of powers, and then the cards that you can play to enhance those powers. Or you have the one use card, the one use powers. It's you have the status tokens that move back and forth and do special things with that. It's just really a fantastic thing. And I mentioned on the show last week that I wish that there was a villain mode for Marvel Dice Throne where you have Ultron or Thanos or whatever, only to find out that in Dice Throne Adventures they actually have boss battles. So they already got the mechanics, so they have to be working on it. They just have to be.
Like a cooperative mode against a villain.
Yeah, cooperative mode against a villain, exactly. So the second game I want to talk about is The Crew. I played both The Crew Mission Deep Sea and Quest for Planet 9. I bought Mission Deep Sea. It's $15, so it's definitely under that $30 limit for my affordable board game segment.
15?
So don't be surprised to see. Yeah, it's $15.
Mountain Goes would have got like 2 points higher on my review had it been $15.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think folks may be familiar with Can't Stop, but it's a trick-taking cooperative game, which I thought was a weird concept, but it totally works. You really have to be like in sync with your teammates to try to figure out who can accomplish what goals and whatnot. It's just great. You can definitely have those stand-up moments in that game where it's like, it's down to the last two. It's down to the last 2 tricks to see if we can get this third mission accomplished, and that's just great. So the third game I wanted to talk about that might be a little bit surprising is Terra Army.
Yeah,
I played
Rob
that.
can't stop talking about
I'll
it.
let you talk first, but yeah, that's the one that's
Well,
really
the first
sticking with
one,
me.
I think both of these, the crew and Mission Defeat, are both on BGA. So, Ron, you're still up in Atlanta, but I haven't played this yet. So one night we should do a live play. We can jump in Discord and play this live on BGA.
That would be great. Yeah, so Terracotta Army. So I walked away from the game saying, "Oh, that was okay. It was okay. There's a lot going on." But I keep going back to it because there's a lot going on.
Exactly.
I like the worker placement aspect of it. I really dig the whole statue placement and how you can score points in many different ways. And you really have to plan ahead. I played a 4-player game, and I felt like that was really tight. With trying to, get your statues in the right place, or I forget what they call the other ones that the statues that let you score in other ways. I'm sure Rob knows the name of them.
Yeah, it's just those bonus ones. Yeah, those gray ones that don't really match any particular player color. But yeah, I don't remember what they call them either.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were really good.
Yeah. Those are really good. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, but I mean, it makes for a really meaty game and a really satisfying strategic experience. And it looks great on the table.
Oh yeah.
It looks fantastic. Yeah, it looks fantastic on the table.
Yeah, and I'll jump in
So,
here. Yeah, I had exactly the same experience. I was telling Carlos that after I played it. The first time I played it, I learned it early in the morning. I think it was either Thursday morning or Friday morning. BJ from Board Game Gumbo and Mitchell had a game scheduled that they had put on the calendar, had put on the pre-scheduler, and they were being taught the game by the head of Boards and Dice. His name's jumping out of my head. Anyway, he was teaching the game, and so they got to play. I think there were 4 people signed up. It was early in the morning. It was like 8 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. So I walked down with Mitchell just because I was going to hang over his shoulder and just kind of check it out. And in the middle, Rayner, that's his name. I'm sorry, Rayner from Boards and Dice. Was teaching, and in the middle of the, I went down there, and it was just the 2 of them, and so I was like, oh, if there's an empty seat, I'll jump in. I played it, and I was like, after we were done, I was like, oh, I did have to run off before we did the final scoring. I ran out, and they did the scoring because I had a game of Glass Road scheduled, and so I went over and played Glass Road for the first time by Uwe Rosenberg. But then, even as I was playing that game, I started kind of thinking back to, I was like, that Terracotta Army was pretty good. And then by the time later in the day I met up with Carlos, I was like, you know what? I played this game Terracotta Army, and for whatever reason, I wasn't stricken by it when I played it. But as the hours went by, and as we went into actually to the next day, I ended up playing it again, and I taught 3 new people how to play it the next day. This is a game that it was that slow burn. I call it a slow burn over 24, 48 hours. I kept thinking about it. As I was playing more and more games, I was like, I want to go back and play that Terracotta Army again. That was pretty good. And just so people know, this is not on the market yet. This has not officially come out. This was in the Hot Games area at Dice Tower. So if you're saying you never heard it, or if you haven't looked it up, it is in pre-order right now. I actually played with Hunter Thomason from I forget the name of his show, Our Family Games or something like that. I apologize, Hunter, that I'm blowing it here. But anyway, Hunter Thomason and
he does the by the years on Dice Tower.
Right. Yep.
Mornings,
statistician stuff. I'm sorry. Did you say the name of it, Ron?
Yeah, Family Showdown. I was in that game.
Family Showdown. I'm sorry. Yep, that's right. Yep. And so I taught it to Hunter. He in the middle of the game, he jumped online and he said, "This is pre-ordering right now for $49
on Game Nerds."
On their the Game Nerds site." And I think he said he was either ordering it right then or he was going to order it as soon as we were done because he was stricken by it as well. It's a really fun game.
And the other day at our game, Rob came over to my house the other day playing some games, and I asked, "Hey, what was the game of the con?" And you immediately were like, Terracotta Army. He was like, how did this little like dispenser that they have?
That's one of the coolest things.
Is it like Tom was talking about it? I think on Dice Tower. It's like a Pez dispenser, right? It just pushes it out or something like that.
Kind of. Well, they're all upside down, so all the things are. So it's just a storage way that they took all of the minis and they stored upside down. So all you see is the square base, but it's just ingenious, just the use of space. Because usually your minis in a game are always face up, they're head up and they're bottom down, and you're having to click them into some kind of plastic thing at the bottom, and you're kind of pulling them out, and you're always worried about damaging them. These are just laying in there upside down, so you just grab the base.
It's almost
and
like
pull it out.
for you folks at home, to give you a better idea, if you ever seen a wine glass holder at a home bar. bar,
Mhm.
Yeah,
where the wine glasses are held by their stems.
They dangle down.
They
Yep.
dangle.
And that's if you go back to the photo, that's the box here in the top.
Yeah, is it Carlos switch screens here? I can try to see if I can blow it up here on
Well,
the.
I got to zoom. I got to
Oh,
turn on the share
we're fighting
screen.
for the the mouse here. All right, go ahead. But we'll pull it back up and see if we can do it real quick. But yeah, that's part of the ingenious of it. And again, it has nothing to do with the gameplay. It's just it was a really cool way to storm. Let me see if I can zoom up here in this top corner up here.
Yeah, what you can't see in the picture, what you don't know, is that box in the top right corner. That box, all those rows are the bottom of the bases of the minis hanging
That's pretty
in the
cool.
box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you score as the first person who plays the first of each of the 4 types scores 8 points, and the second person 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So along the
So the
top
box
here,
acts as a score track.
right
too.
as the top,
That's
as
cool.
you play them, you
That's
take the
really
score on top, and then you have weapon tokens. There's 4 different weapon tokens. Each one of the different types of soldiers has a different weapon, and so I can play this for 8 by building that terracotta soldier, and then if I have the token, the sword token here for the general, I think this is. If you play it for the 8, and then if you can flip the token, he has a special ability you can enact, and then he gets you extra bonus points that are down here, kind of where I'm putting the marker. So you can add the total plus this amount for your scoring, and then there's a special ability you can trigger as well, and they each have a different special ability.
So the box is being used.
That's
Yeah.
that's a really
it's really cool.
cool way of storing it, right? Save space, and then you use the entire storage tray as part of your scoring mechanism for the game. I mean, that's pretty cool. I like that.
It's
you
really
know?
cool.
There's
And then
no wasted space there.
one of the big parts of the game here is here you can see there's a dial. There's 2 dials that sit on top of the board, and the way you're taking your actions, this is all the action placement here. Is you're placing you have grande workers and you have smaller workers. They call them different things, artisans and apprentices. So your small workers, you can upgrade them throughout the game from apprentices to artisans. So you just swap out a little one for a big one. But it's that whole worker placement thing that each one of the spaces here that corresponds with one of the wheel sections. You can always play a little one, but somebody can either play a big one and block you out so nobody can play a little one, or if there's a little one already, you can play the grande there and take that set of actions again. So it's that whole thing. So yeah, it's really it smashes together a couple different mechanics.
I'm glad Ron brought it up.
Yeah, and we haven't let Ron talk in the last 10 minutes because I took
Sorry.
over. But sorry, Ron.
What he said.
I'm sorry. It's about the caller here, but I
You got
took over.
excited.
Yeah,
You
I
got
got excited.
excited. You got
I like this
excited.
game a lot. Yeah, I agree with you, Ron. This one was a slow burn for me
We
too.
can tell.
Yeah.
yeah. So so that game was surprising to me. That was, like I said, I had a lot of good experiences, but most importantly, I just had a lot of great experiences with the people, meeting many people in the Beans and Dice community, and I just have to say that you guys have built and are building a great community online and in person, and it's incredible. I mean, there are board game personalities, content creators that have a larger online presence, but this community is something special.
I appreciate you saying that. That's really nice of you to point that out. But yeah, we've got a good group of people, and that's kind of where we started. That's what Carlos's main mission was. Is it's all about the people. It's about the conversations. It's about the hanging out after the game. You know, the games are fun, and that's kind of what we're coming together for. But we really enjoyed, and we told the story 1,000 times that first idea of this was us hanging out in the parking lots after game day ended. You know, at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning after the game shop closed, we'd have 4 or 5 or 6 of us go just stand around our cars in the parking lot and talk for another hour and a half, 2
And then
hours.
half of us would go to Taco Bell
And
and,
then talk some
order in the
more.
drive-thru, and then eat outside the cars, talking more about games.
More. So this was what it was all about. We were like, hey, if we're doing it, let's throw it up on the internet and see if anybody wants to hear about it.
Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate
Yeah,
it, Ron.
that's cool.
That feels good to hear that, man. It was a pleasure meeting you in person and hanging out, man.
Likewise.
Well,
All right.
Have a good night,
I'll be
homie.
out here and take care of you. All right. Take care.
Thanks
Bye.
for calling, Ron.
I was saying, even like I think didn't Ron and Mitchell room together?
Yeah.
So they were 2 people that one's in Louisiana, one's in Atlanta.
Yeah, we brought them.
Never met really
them
before
together.
in person. Met through the show.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, let's room together, and you know,
Yeah,
that's the community, right? That's the awesomeness, you know.
There was lots of good people. We had BJ from Board Game Gumbo that hung out with us for a couple days. So we got to play lots of games with BJ and Ron.
His wife and
BJ's wife Linda. Yep, lots of good stuff.
Very cool.
Call coming in.
Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Jim from New Tampa.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Jim.
James.
Yeah.
I recognize that voice.
I do.
How you doing, Jim?
Long
it's the
time
first
no
I
see.
called in.
It is.
Yeah, first time
Yeah,
caller. Yeah,
couple
awesome.
days.
Glad you called in.
Hey, I had a question about Blood Bowl.
Oh, okay.
My
I'll
man.
shut up again. All right,
Carlos.
back to Carlos. Yeah.
Well, Carlos came out to Zephyr Hills and taught Blitz Bowl,
Yes.
and I loved it. And I went out and bought that game in one of the teams. Now, is Blitz Bowl done? Is Blood Bowl something different, or can you play Blood Bowl with Blitz Bowl?
Okay, so the two games are different games. Blood Bowl is the full-on 2.5, 3 hour full football match, American football match. Blitz Bowl is the 30 to 45 minute minor league version of the game with a completely different rule set and completely different goals. I really like them both separately. The only way they interact is that they share models. So the models, a Blitz Bowl team gives you about a half of a Blood Bowl team. So normally you're playing with 11 players on the pitch in Blood Bowl. In Blitz Bowl, you're playing with usually 6 players on the pitch on that team. So that's about the extent of the crossovers is, yes, you can paint your models, you can build your teams for Blood Bowl, and then use them in Blitz Bowl. The difference is it's not dead, and I think it's going to grow even more. Blitz Bowl has been an exclusive for Barnes & Noble since it released in 2020. It's been a Barnes & Noble exclusive, and I've gone and searched them out and gotten their deals and picked them all up, every piece. Multiple copies, enough to hold a tournament. That's what I do. This year, they announced it, and it's coming, I think, Q4 this year. They're finally releasing, Games Workshop is finally releasing Blitz Bowl as its own game that retailers can do. So like Armada Games, our buddy, Armada Games, or even Your Turn, I think they also do some Warhammer stuff or Games Workshop stuff. They will now have a set that they can sell. And it's going to be the 3rd season of Blitz Bowl. We're going to be in our 3rd season.
Is the retail version that's coming out later, is that a different set than what Barnes & Noble sold? So
Yes. The first set was humans versus... what was it? Humans versus orcs.
Probably
Second
orcs,
set
yeah.
was humans versus dwarves. And the third set, I'm not sure what it's going to be.
Games Workshop knows how to sell.
Oh yeah, they sell stuff.
There are multiple copies of both sets in my shelves.
Big surprise.
How does that answer your question, Jim?
So, my question is then, should I buy into Blood Bowl, or should I hang on to the Blitz Bowl and
No.
wait for that?
Go ahead.
You will find a bigger community in Blood Bowl. There are leagues. So Armada hosts a league regularly. And whenever I'm in that league, I think we're at 16, 17, 18, almost 20 players. And we will run 7-week seasons with playoffs.
So you're telling me you pulled the old bait and switch on Jim. You sucked him in with a little bit of light,
That's
quick
the whole idea,
Blitz
bro.
Bowl, and now you're going to try to get him to go
Really?
full-on Blood Bowl
Like,
and make him
I'm-
rebuy the stuff.
I'm going to give you the first joint for free. After that, you got to buy the whole bag, bro.
That's the problem with games. That is the problem with Games Workshop. though.
Plastic crack.
And now what about Dungeon Bowl as Rich?
All right, so then there's Dungeon Bowl. So Dungeon Bowl, which they just had a tournament,
And
I
can you
think,
use
last
Blitz
week.
Bowl or Blood Bowl with Dungeon Bowl?
The
Both.
models.
Yeah, both.
And
Yeah.
actually,
Okay.
Blitz Bowl would be better for Dungeon Bowl than Blood Bowl would be, because Dungeon Bowl combines multiple races into one team. Instead of having teams of races like elves, dwarves, orcs, humans, 28 different teams, I think it is. In Dungeon Bowl, they're colleges. So there's like a wizards college that has a team. So they have some humans and some elves and, different races on that one team. Where Blitz Bowl, you're buying half a team whenever you buy a team for Blitz Bowl. You can buy multiple halves and then combine them to create your own college for Dungeon Bowl.
We'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the toilet bowl. What about the toilet bowl? No? Anyway.
Dungeon Bowl is played in a dungeon. Ta-da! And it's played on dungeon tiles, so it almost feels like Descent
As
or
like-
any other dungeon crawler.
We talked about that, I think, a couple weeks ago, where when you come into the dungeon, you show up randomly.
Lots of
half
random.
your team starts up in like one room of the dungeon. The other half of the other team starts up in another room
You
of the
got to
dungeon.
find the ball.
There are 6 different treasure chests laid out around the dungeon, so you got to run from corridor into rooms, check that treasure chest. 5 out of those 6 treasure chests have an explosion that happens. One of them has the football.
Booby trap.
Once you find the football, the first person to take it and push it into the opponent's starting room scores a touchdown and wins. That's
Sounds like fun.
It's craziness. As a sports fan, Robert, I really think you'd be into
I
it.
love sports. Too much random.
I would not mind playing it.
Yeah.
I just am not willing to put the money into investing in building teams.
I got you, bro. I got you. You know how many teams I've loaned out?
Yeah,
Some I've never seen come back again
I'm not
because
rolling
you know.
dice.
Usually you'll get it back from me, but yeah, I just couldn't. $150 and paint.
So Jim,
Dice
here's
hate
what
me.
I say.
Dice hate me.
Here's what I say. Next time a league starts up, I've got 20 some odd teams. Some of them painted, some of them not. You pick one, you borrow it. I got the books. I got extra books. I got extra range rulers. I got extra dice. I got everything you need in a kit. You pick the team. You take it with you. You run that league. Do 7 weeks, and then from then on, you'll know, is it for you or not?
Sounds great.
I mean, free is good, right?
I'll hold you to that. I'll hold you to that, man.
Don't worry. I've done it many times for people I like less than you.
What else is going on? You want to tell us about a little bit about your Dice Tower Con? You got a chance to meet up with us and play some games at the old Dice Tower. What was your take on the show?
It was only the third one I've been to, third gaming convention, first Dice Tower for me.
Okay.
I loved it. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I actually, my favorite game is I was walking around and this gentleman had sit down a brand new copy of The Great Wall, opened it up out of the cellophane. We broke it out. Nick Oben came over. He played with us. And another guy from the Tampa Gaming Guild came and played with us. I love that game.
Nice.
I'm so mad I didn't pack it.
I got to play it. Yeah, I keep hearing good things about it. And there's different modes. You've got a cooperative mode. You've got a competitive mode. There's a semi-cooperative where you're all fighting off the bad guys. Yeah, I know a lot about it. I just haven't had a chance to play it yet. So I got to find a copy somewhere and get it played.
What's the playtime on the box for that game?
It was long. We played 4 players. It was long.
No, on the box.
We ended
though.
up being
on
there
the
for
box.
5 hours.
What does it say on the box?
Oh,
Can look it up. See.
I don't remember.
Wow.
Because then you got to multiply it by the Oben exponent. So when Nick Oben shows up, it's exponentially longer.
The AP is the AP strong with Nick. So you said this was your third gaming con. What are the other 2 you've been to?
I was my first one was one called Whose Turn up in Raleigh,
Okay. Yeah.
which is really confusing because we've got Your Turn here. And then I did Tantrum Con earlier this year.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Now I was interested in Tantrum Con because it's a smaller con. And
It's North Carolina or South Carolina? North Carolina?
I think North Carolina,
It
right?
was in Charlotte this year.
Yeah, sure. How was that?
It was good. I have a buddy from Chicago who lives in Raleigh. He's the one that's got me into gaming. So I met him and some of his buddies. So we had a group there that played a lot of games. It was good. They did tournament meals.
Tell me
which was kinda
more.
Cool. They had tournaments, which they're not doing that anymore.
No,
I'll
tell me
you
more.
Sorry.
I'm a fat guy. You said
Yeah,
something
so
about meals.
Mules.
Yeah, so it's basically a tournament and food.
Nice.
You get a meal and you play a tournament.
What
and
kind
I
of
think you
combo
even
is
get
that?
A copy of the game when you're done.
How have we not
I
heard
know,
about
that
this?
that was pretty cool.
I can hear Mitchell twitching.
Food at the table.
Oh, blasphemy.
Yeah.
So would you recommend if people were interested in that convention next year, would you recommend that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Cool. If I get an opportunity, I'm going to go.
There's a lot of folks that always ask, I've never been to a con. Which one do I go to first? You've done 3 of them. Which type of con do you think is best for a newer gamer?
It depends on what you like and who you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't imagine going to the first one by myself, not knowing anybody. It was great going to the Dice Tower because this is the first one I went to where I knew people locally, you guys and some of the other guys I play with in the area.
That made it better.
I went to, I kind of played exclusively with the group that we were there with.
Yeah, you wandered around a little bit. I know you got a game of Ankh going with some people you didn't know, right?
Yep.
That's cool.
No, I actually I did play a lot of games with people I didn't know this time too. So.
Oh, good.
Even that Great Wall, I never met that guy. I just walked up and he was setting up, and I just asked him about it. And
Nice.
it turned out to be my best experience of the week,
All right.
other than playing Serengeti with you guys.
Oh God. Wild Serengeti. Yeah, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Yes, no?
No, that's a big no. A
Really?
big no.
I did not.
Interesting.
I did not like that game, but it was a blast playing with you guys.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
So kudos.
It's been a couple of years since I have laughed that hard, and I am not kidding. I was crying and I could not hardly breathe. Mitchell actually had to pull out his inhaler because he couldn't breathe either. We were. It was what, about 1:30 in the morning, and we were a little loopy.
So
but,
did the time in which you play the game have a factor into it not being a good game, or is it just not a good game?
It's just not a good game. Yeah,
Really?
Mitchell.
A lot of people have been talking about it.
Mitchell enjoyed it, and he said he played it at 2 players. I think he said the first time he played, the only other time he had played it, which was before the con. And so some folks from our group, Michelle and her friends, our friends, got a game together that we had been waiting for it to become available. It was at the Hot Games table. I think that was the only copy they had was on the Hot Games table. And so people for 2 or 3 days were rotating in and out. People were hovering around waiting for people to be done with it. And as soon as one group would move on, the next group would sit in. And we went over there 6 or 7 or 8 different times trying to get in. But long story short, so Michelle's group, long story long. It's already too long. But Michelle's group got in on it, and we were waiting. We were trying to get in. We were finishing up a game. They jumped on it. So Mitch was like, okay, I'm going to teach them how to play. Their group of 4 will be done. I think he said his first experience was less than 2 hours. They'll be done in an hour and a half, maybe an hour, and then we'll kind of hover around and wait for it. And they told us, we'll come get you when we're getting close to done. So we were playing whatever game it was. We finished. It was an hour and a half later. We went over and checked on them, or Mitchell went over and checked on them. They were only on I think it was round 2 at that point out of 6. And so Mitchell comes back and he's whispering to us, he's like, I can't believe what they're doing wrong. They've taken a 45-minute game, stretched it into an hour and a half, and they're not even a third of the way done. So he was giving them grief about it, at least at our table. So then about another hour later, they were about 2.5 hours in, they got up and walked away. So Mitch runs over there and he's like, oh, did y'all finish? And they're like, no, we only got through round 3 of 6 and we just called it because we weren't enjoying it. So we went over and grabbed it and we sat down. We were 2.5 hours in. We had just finished round 4, which is the first scoring round, and we quit unanimously. We were like, "This is
okay."
It. Yeah,
Michelle was talking about that at our game night. She was saying, "You guys quit the same. You guys were giving us crap because we quit, and you quit the same turn."
We got just a little.
Let me ask Jim. Jim. Jim, is that a try, buy, or deny?
Try and deny.
Wow.
Try and deny. Yeah, I agree. I'm just
try it and throw it away.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The end of that
like
game is just nothing but analysis. You're just going to be constantly like going cards and looking at animals, going cards and reviewing and trying to figure it out.
It's one of these things where you're manipulating pieces. So I take an action. It's a little bit of worker place. I take an action to move some things where I need to start getting them, and then Jim comes along a couple of turns later, and then he doesn't like where I place the giraffe, of course, out of the water. And he moves that giraffe out of that's inside joke, but he moves the giraffe out of the water. So then I got to take another action to move the giraffe back into the water. Now we're fighting because he needs the giraffe out of the water. I need the giraffe in the water. So again, that's an oversimplification.
This is a game where you're trying to make like scenes to take photos.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you're playing a film crew of a natural conservation group or something. You're trying to take certain pictures of certain animals in certain areas.
I could be wrong because I think is it Mike Delisio for Dice Tower is like really high on this.
They
game.
liked it.
They liked it a lot, but like it doesn't seem like if it hit. I played games with you. I played with Michelle. I played with a bunch of people, and you're all saying no. I'm like, yeah.
And Mitchell said he liked it at 2. He said it was snappy, and it was over at 4 players, 2.5 hours
Grinds
in,
to a halt.
and we're halfway through the game. It was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Well, thanks for bringing that one up, Jim.
Yeah, thanks for. But yeah, get that giraffe back in the water, Jim.
And thanks for getting your first phone call in. I mean, that's a achievement for you,
unlocked.
brother.
Yeah. There you go. And now, are you on Discord with us?
He is now.
Okay.
Just recently.
Jodak. Joe Discard.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Jodak.
Discord.
I think he's in. You're in my team. You're in my round of the Castles of Burgundy tournament.
Oh, there you go. Castle Burgundy tournament.
Don't let him win, Jim. Don't let him win.
Take him down, Jim. All right,
Well,
Jim.
I told the other guys, I've actually never lost Castles of Burgundy.
Oh, now he's talking.
Now it's a
So,
challenge.
Now I got to really pay attention.
The first con I went to, there was a tournament for Castles of Burgundy. My buddy was like, you should practice. So I practiced, and they won the tournament.
Nice.
Wow, Wayne. Wayne, you've been challenged, sir.
Challenge. The gauntlet is thrown. I'm probably going to lose. Doesn't matter.
I played a game with Mitchell and Ron and somebody.
Yep.
And I won that one.
Yeah, I think it was the 3 of you. I was hanging out watching, but you 3 played. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. It calls to me.
It's a good game.
I like it.
Did you do the Kickstarter?
Yes, I
Oh,
had to.
good. Somebody in the group did.
I did too.
You did too? Okay. Because I didn't. I can't afford
Picking it
that.
up. Yeah, nice.
At least we got somebody in the group that did it. All right.
I'll just wait for the pledge manager to decide if I really want to like upgrade to the
So
wash
Jim,
and everything.
when you get your copy, you got to bring it to the studio so we can get it played.
We'll play it here,
Absolutely.
live on camera.
All right, Bobby. Thanks for calling.
Have a good night, Jim.
Take it easy.
Easy.
First time caller.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Man, that Wild Garrett, that was on my list, and now I got to now. Well, I'm gonna
Hey,
replace.
congratulations.
I
you
would
can
s-
buy
I-
something else.
I would
can buy
say
something else.
I'd say I want to play it at 2, but that 4-player
No.
experience ruined me. I don't.
I will take that off the list and put Terracotta Army in his place.
Absolutely, and it's cheaper probably. I bet.
I
Yeah.
think Terracotta Army, Rob, I was stunned at the.
40-something bucks.
Yeah, it's less than $50 is what
Yeah.
they're planning on selling that for.
It's like on pre-order on some of the websites where you can.
It's got a ton of
There's
plastic,
a
too.
decent amount of plastic in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so Rob talked about Terracotta Army. I think for me, because we got like 20 minutes left.
Yeah, already
Now we
running
can
out of
go
time.
over.
Yeah.
Come on.
My game of the con.
Yeah.
I'll
Nobody,
go there.
nobody asked, but go ahead.
Oh, wow.
Carlos, what,
Go ahead,
what
go
was your
ahead.
game of the con?
There you go. Wayne asked.
My man.
Oh, Michael Lorenzo's calling. Hey,
Oh,
hold that thought.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
It's Lorenzo from Seattle.
Hey, Michael, what's up?
Hey, Robert, did you
What's
go
going
to a
on,
con
fellas?
this weekend?
I did.
Oh, ask me, Rob. Ask me.
Did you go to a con this weekend, Carlos?
I did. Ask Michael. Ask Michael.
Michael, did you go to any cons this weekend?
I'm going to hang up.
Oh, it cuts deep. It cuts deep.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
But you did Dice Tower West, right? I'm jealous of that.
No, I didn't go.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
didn't do Dice Tower West.
I
no,
thought you were talking about it.
You know,
only because I was just in Vegas for training for work. Actually, it was the NACA convention, and I got home and I was just like, I cannot.
National
believe
Association of Claims
this
Adjusters.
con is like, yes. The con was like 3 weeks after I got back, and I was like, I can't turn around and go right back like that. And
Oh, you could.
But now
Yeah.
I'm all about Vegas, guys.
Not with an
We could do
attitude
it.
like
Do
that, you
Vegas.
couldn't.
Yeah, we're gonna do
You gotta
Vegas.
drive out
We're gonna
there,
do Vegas eventually. Yeah, Carlos is
I'm
gonna
down.
drive. Well, he'll meet us there in 6 weeks.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah, I'm hoping you guys do it so I can meet up with you guys again.
Oh, we'll do it. We'll do it.
I love Vegas.
So what you got going on, Michael? What you been playing?
Well, you guys were talking about Wild Serengeti.
Oh,
Ooh.
you've played?
So I played half a game.
Seems to be a thing.
So did Michelle, and so did
like
Alex
common
and
theme that's
Mitchell
been
and
going on
Dan.
here.
Yep.
Well, so here's the thing. Oh yeah. It was getting later in the night, and it was the first time we were playing, and it was up to me. I mean, I hadn't even done like a trial run through the game myself, because I usually do that like a few rounds on my own before I even introduce it to somebody. And I watched a video on it. I read the rule book, and I was like, okay, I think I got it down. Brought it over to our friend's house, and we were playing 4 players. And it's just like you guys were saying. It was like, I want to say 2.5 hours into it, and I think we were finishing up round 3.
Yeah, that's about
And
right.
I said, I could just tell, like, we enjoyed the look of it. I mean, the presence on the table is amazing. You
Yeah.
know, the little meat,
And
the
I think
animal
they're
meatballs and all
screen
that.
printed. Are they, Michael, screen printed?
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they look great.
Yep.
But the thing is, I'm looking around the table, and there's just like some of the text is so small and the icons, and it's like I'm looking, and I could tell like probably half the people were not having a good time, and
Yep.
it was getting late. So I said, let's just make this the last round. It was a learning game, and I'll bring it back over some other time. And nobody has even mentioned it since.
No, nobody's ever
But-
asked for it again.
Not gonna ask for that
No,
game again.
Yeah, I definitely want to play it all the way through, probably at a lower player count, just to see if I actually like it. Because we didn't even get, because we're like round 4 and 6 are like when the awards are doled out. We didn't even get to that part, and I don't know. I want to give it. I always give a game a full play at least once before I give it the boot. But it was not a good first experience with the game, unfortunately.
I agree 100%. And I don't know if you've played it yet, but another game that I played at the con that has animals in it, there's not a whole lot of similarity, but New York Zoo I thought was a much better experience than Wild Serengeti was. And
all right. Well, I'll have to give that one a try.
yeah,
then.
that's a polyomino animal based, kind of building a little zoo. There's some laying some polyominoes, putting some little wooden meeple animals on there.
That Ark Nova, you got a lot of animal stuff going on.
Yeah. It was that one.
I
Was
do
fun.
want to try New York Zoo because
do.
Ark Nova just didn't hit off for me.
The New
I
York
wanna
Zoo is
try New
much
York
better,
Zoo.
a
I do
lot
wanna try
lighter, lot lighter. It's nowhere near as heavy as like an Ark Nova, but
I mean, the table presence of this is crazy. You know, like the screen
Yeah.
printing looks really cool.
oh
on
yeah,
these
they were nice. Yeah, the game is at least twice
It's-
as long as it needs to be.
Yeah, and I think it's due to it's such a puzzle to figure out.
Yep.
Because I mean, especially if you're playing with 4 players, because you got 3 other people that are screwing with the board. Like you've got your puzzle figured out, and you're like, okay, when it gets around to me, I'll probably be able to do this. And then by that time, I mean, the board could look totally different.
Yep.
And then you're like, well, what the hell do I do now?
Yep.
And you just get AP. Like even if you're not AP prone, you're going to get AP in this game.
Yep.
There's no way around it.
And that's what Jim and I were talking
So-
about there. That little inside joke was saving some of the keywords, but we were laughing so hard we were get that effing giraffe back in the effing water, and it was like we were like Samuel L. Jackson is directing this scene here.
So it was
That-
funny.
that-
So it's like so each of you are or you're your own crew trying to do this photo shoot or documentary, right?
Yeah.
It almost makes it sound
Uh-huh.
like this should be a cooperative game where you're all working together to create
Yeah.
it, but it's not. It's competitive, so you're constantly doing this push-pull that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And I thought like the migration part of it would be kind of cool, and we didn't even get to that.
Yeah, we got to it. All you do is you
like-
flip a card and you take half the animals off the board randomly.
Right. Well,
That's
I mean,
it?
it's
They
like,
run away?
whatever tiles.
Yeah, they run away. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like certain grid tiles that if there's an animal on it, you pull them off.
Right.
And, I mean, it's thematic, but not, it's just kind of like,
Power.
Are we still live?
Are you live? Are you live?
I think we're live.
We're sitting in the
It's
dark.
still live.
There's 3 people watching still. Woo!
All right, folks. We're in Tampa, and there's a thunderstorm out there, and the power went out. So,
So sorry.
let's see what the comments were here. Rich says, "Oops, the department at GW after Rob's less than enthusiastic review of Blood Bowl.
They cut the power. They cut us off.
So this is us. We got tea light candles. You know, that's Florida high tech.
Somebody use my phone here. Here we go. Look at this. Don't shine it directly at the camera.
Yeah, we can do this. We can do this.
Yeah.
All right, so I was gonna give you my best game of the con, and then I got interrupted.
Oh, that's the literally they cut the power off because they don't want you to give the rest of
Look, we just picked up a 4th viewer.
This is nuts. Okay, so best game of the con for me was Anno 1800.
Yeah, Carlos really liked that.
I have been hooked ever since I got my first play with Rob.
Yep.
And we only got one play.
Yeah, we played it one time. We learned it and played it.
I kept trying to get Rob to play it more, but he wouldn't do it.
It was the next to last day of the con. If we'd had a couple days in between, I would have played it again. But I didn't want to play it back to back.
I tell you what, Martin Wallace is the man.
Yeah. I love me some Brass Birmingham. Don't get me wrong.
No, Brass Birmingham is still above
Yeah,
Anno
oh, yeah,
1800.
Yeah, for sure.
However, Anno 1800 gives you the Birmingham brass feel of like the Industrial Revolution type, well, industry and finance type stuff, but in a different setting, right? So you're on islands creating different industries, and it does it in a faster time.
Yeah.
And I think with more replayability.
Yeah, we stumbled our way through the first one. So we had played, I don't know, that game took us, about 3 hours probably to play, but we were learning and playing. So the first hour of it, we had only taken a couple of turns probably, but yeah.
When I say replayability, the reason I say that is because of the cards. So you're going to get cards, you're going to get population cards. The whole goal of the game is to build the population of your island. That's it, right? And you're going to add population onto your island, but the way you win is by making your population content. Each card that you take tells you what industries make this population content. By having these industries and building these things, you're going to be able to score those cards by making them content. Really themey. What I mean by that is the farmers, they want some really basic stuff.
Yeah.
They want like potatoes and pigs.
Yeah, those early population cards, it's just feeding the people basically, yeah.
And all kinds of different alcohol.
Right.
Like there was some schnapps, you know, right?
Beer.
But then you want to bring in the worker class, right? They want like work shirts, right?
Yeah.
They want to be able to do stuff.
Clothes and stuff.
Then you bring in the artisan class. They want upgraded materials. They want windows. They want, just big higher tech. It's a tech tree game. It's all about tech trees.
Hold this while you talk. You're shaking. Yeah.
With the mic.
Yeah.
Making everybody sick. Let's see. Will it lay down?
Can we balance it there? We're dealing.
It's close enough.
We got a little. There we go. A little bit.
There we go. All
right, cool.
So you're going to have industries that you create to try to make your populations happy. The workers, the artisans. Then finally, you bring in the investor class. And in the investor class, they want like the high hoity-toity stuff. They want like champagne, and they want tractors and bicycles and which are called penny farthing.
Whatever that.
I never knew that was the name of that.
It was a bicycle. Yeah, tricycle.
Bicycle.
Yeah.
So it's a tech tree game, and your tech tree develops as you go. You start off wanting to build small stuff like soap, like workers want soap. So you got to build soap industries, but then you got to figure out how to get to a place where you build those really high tech luxury items to be able to bring in the big dollars, right? The cool part of the game is the balance. The more population you bring to your island that you can use to make industries, the more cards you add to your hand.
Right.
The game ends when you've played all your cards.
When one player's played all their cards. Yep.
When one player's, so you're like, okay, I want to get more people to make more stuff, but every time I add more people, I add more end game criteria.
Got to go longer. Yeah.
So it's like that balance of at what point do I stop bringing people to my island and just try to wrap up my goal cards to end this game?
Yep.
Right. So that's that balance there. And then the other part of the game that I really loved was the trading mechanism.
Yes.
The trading mechanism, because there's only 2 of each industry on the grid.
2 tiles
of the main board.
Can build into your.
So only 2 of the 4 players could ever build an industry that makes soap.
Right.
So what they did is they allow you to build docks. You build docks, it allows you to make ships. You build ships, and it allows you to trade.
Two
You
functions.
trade tokens.
You can trade or you can explore. Two different
two
kinds
different
of
ships.
Yeah.
So in the trading ships, you're going to get trade tokens. You get to spend a number of trade tokens based on the type of industry you're looking for to be able to say, you know what, Wayne, I'm going to spend 2 trade token to grab some soap from your soap industry. And you can't stop me.
Yep.
I'm trading. I'm getting it.
Oh, he gets a gold for it.
He gets
He gets a coin for it. Yeah.
And you can use that gold, Wayne, to bring back workers. So you're going to spend workers to do his stuff, but you use gold to pay them salary to then end their shift and send them somewhere else. So it's a positive player experience that I get something out of it, you get something out of it, and it creates, I think, an interaction. I know we only played 2-player, but I have a feeling when we get to 4-player, it's going to feel a little bit like Pit, the card game.
Yeah.
Oh, here's my internet company telling me there's an outage.
Oh, yeah, it just popped up on the phone. Yeah.
It's going to feel like Pit in that people are going to be yelling, who makes soap? I need soap. Who makes soap? Right? And then from there, figuring out which player do you want to allow to give the gold to.
Yeah, not quite as frantic. I know in Pit you're under a time crunch also. I mean, this one you can kind of look around who makes soap. So.
But we were playing 2-player, and we were looking at our hands saying, hey, do you make cannons? Yeah, I make cannons. Okay, I'm going to buy some cannons, and that's going to make, I feel like it's going to force interaction that we don't see in brass.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely going to that whole trading mechanic is going to open up. Looking around, you're always going to be interested in what somebody else does and who does the thing you need to do. So, yep.
I know Diego got it at the flea market, and he got it for a good price, decent price, but it was missing the rule book. And Diego's a completionist, and so I said, Diego, I'll buy it off you for whatever you spent.
Yeah,
I don't care if I'm missing components. Y'all see me put games away. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, you had no manual. We had to look up the manual online to figure out how to play it, the instructions. Yeah,
and then we played it afterwards. And after we played it, I was like, "Holy crap, this game's awesome!"
Yeah, it was fun. I definitely want to play it again. I don't want to poo-poo it, but it was fun. It was no brass for me again, but it wasn't a game that I was when we were done that I got to play that game again. So, but I definitely want to play it again. It was fun.
I don't get it, bro.
Good. Yeah.
Like I instantly said, I said, all right, let's re-rack right now.
Yeah.
And you shut me down, man. You shut me down.
No.
And what did we go do?
We had to go
Was
eat.
it worth it?
We had to go eat.
We ate. Okay, fine. We ate. What did we do after that, though? I brought it with me afterwards. What did we play after that?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point. We played garbage.
If we would have played Anno, it would have been like, we played Anno again.
No. We would have been like, wow, this is awesome. So we
know.
gave up another opportunity to play an awesome game to play some mediocre
We
games.
owned that one, though. You go to Dice Tower to play all the games you don't own. So you own it now. So we're good.
See, but that's where we differ. I go to Dice Tower to play the games I do own with different people.
Why?
Because there's different
You
people.
got that library there. Take advantage.
Oh, no.
That's half of it.
My brain can't take too much of it. So that was my game of the con. Experiences of the con. Any experiences you want to share? Like your favorite experience?
Wild Serengeti was not my favorite experience. That was
the laughter you got from it.
I think meeting people for me for sure. Being able to meet up with BJ from Board Game Gumbo. We had met him before in Louisiana. We went to the Sobo Festival. But I really enjoyed playing games with him. We have a similar taste, it seems like. So a lot of games we like playing together. Being able to meet Ron Frazier for the first time and play games with him. Getting to meet Hunter Thomason. I just kind of walked into that one. He just showed up at Terracotta Army. He was sitting by himself trying to go through the rule book, and I went over. I was like, "Hey, would you would you mind a teach? And I can teach you this game. I just played it yesterday." So we went ahead and filled up that table, and we got a 4-player game in. Meeting Tom and Z and them again. I've met them several times, but all the Dice Tower crew. It was a lot of fun. That's my highlight for sure.
For me, highlight of the event I think would be the photo.
Oh yeah,
the group photo was kind of a stunner for me.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I did not go to Dice Tower East with any expectations of like a beans and dice thing event.
Yeah,
other than what we normally do, which is we wear our shirts.
Yeah, we talked about doing a little publicity, and
Rob and I will do our show in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But when we got everyone together and I realized how many people were part of the Beans and Dice community that showed up,
we had almost 20 of us there. Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah, that was nice.
That's community. It feels good right here.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah, kind of on camera. Come this way.
Right there.
There we go.
So that was me. Wayne, anything going on in Tampa while we were gone?
No, y'all. Everyone I played PGA games with at the con, but I'm going to be there next year, and we got. I think the next step is we got to get shirts for everybody, man.
I mentioned that to Carlos.
Everyone's got to walk around wearing the Beans and Dice shirt.
We need Beans and
man,
Dice shirts.
I got to have,
You take that next
some
step.
merch. Give me a hat, give me a shirt, whatever. I'm wearing it.
So tell all your friends about it. Once we get the membership up a little bit, we'll definitely do that. And I don't want to cut you off, but in the comments before I forget, somebody had mentioned they were a first time viewer, first time Kristen, I think it looks like
Kristen
Imler, short time listener, first time watcher. So unfortunately, so I apologize. We apologize for the technical difficulty. We had a
power outage in Tampa.
In Tampa. This is not normal for the show, obviously, but we're dealing with it. We're sucking it up. We're making the best out of it here on the cell phone.
Yep. Go back to the OG crew.
Oh,
yeah,
well.
that's it. We're gonna wrap it up out of Tampa with our tea light candles that are keeping the lights on in the house. Oh, I spilled wax on the game table.
Oh, you just poured wax all over the place. Last week, beer. Nobody caught that, but
I gotta tell people
beer and not wax. Anyway,
on that note, I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Wayne.
And we are the Beans and Dice Podcast, a podcast about
how we game.
Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all next week, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern.